decisions in my life, people telling me what's right, but I will make my own way. I wish that they could see half as clearly as I do, but they never see it all, 'cause every step that I take, I wipe my footprints away. I make my choice and I pave my way, and it makes me who I am. After all they say, my reflection still remains. You can push me around or put me in my place, but I'll never stay there. Understanding my life, why I am, may take some time. 'Cause every step that I take, I wipe my footprints away. I made my choice and I paved my way, and it makes me who I am. After all they say, my reflection still remains. You made your choice, you played your game. Now you're on your own again. After all you say, my reflection still remains. They let you in from your disguise. Once you're in, you never give in until you see the light drawn from their I made my choice and I paved my way, and it makes me who I am. After all they say, my reflection still remains. You made your choice, you played your game. Now you're on your own again. After all you say, my reflection still remains.
Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope you guys have had a good start to your weekend, and it's all been kicking off here because this shouldn't even really be happening considering the amount of gremlins I've had. The fact that you might be able to see me and hear me is going to be a minor miracle because, and you might have to sit in for this, before I do start going off on the amount of gremlins that have been occurring and appearing since last night. Hello to all of you in the live chat room. I can see you in there. Kevin, Daisy, B, Ro, Vera, Gail, Billy, Alison, Beanie, Charlie, Anna, Cindy, Angela, PM112, and Julesie's in there as well. Bob, Tammy, SD, Teresa, Monica T. Thank you for joining me tonight. So I'm going to try and get these different things to appear on the screen. First of all, my patrons who make this all possible in the first place. So thank you guys. You know who you are. They're the reason that I can do anything on YouTube. All of the videos that I make in these live streams. And I'm going to try and get everything up on screen first. And by the way, as for, likes goal and FilJam, we'll have to see what happens later, because I'll explain to you exactly what's been happening over the last almost 24 hours. So a lot of gremlins. So I will get the likes goal up on screen, and this is probably from Tuesday is when this project was last able to save. So I'm going to put in 188, I think it's going to be the FilJam. But again, FilJam later on, if we do hit the target of whatever I'm going to set this to, I can't remember what the target should be. I mean, it should be attempting a new record, but maybe that's not going to be possible tonight with everything that's kicking off with the gremlins, but I do not know. So maybe you guys can give me okay, so Angela says 605, so I'm going to put that in as the total, or at least the goals, 605, and save that. So I'm going to have to work through tonight's stream minute by minute to see what works and what doesn't work. So we'll aim for 605. If we don't hit the target, then it could be advantageous, because the FilJam might not work anyway. So we will see. But if you can give that thumbs up a click as you enter the live stream or enter the chat room, would be very much appreciated. And I will get the likes goal up on screen. That has appeared, which is good. So here we go. I might spend the whole live stream talking about just gremlins. So last night I was using Final Cut Pro, which is editing software. And as you guys might be able to appreciate, editing is quite a large part of what I do. I need to be able to edit together videos. So I was editing together a video, and I closed down Final Cut Pro. It was Final Cut Pro 10, but now it's Final Cut Pro 11, because I'll get to that. So I closed down the program, and I thought, oh, I should have done the thumbnail or something, which I do in Final Cut Pro 10 as well. So I went to open it up again. Guess what? It said this library, and that's where all of the documents are saved, was created with a future version of Final Cut Pro. Therefore, it can't be opened. And I've literally just saved it. So it's telling me that I'm using it, or I'm trying to open a project that was from a future version. It definitely wasn't, because I saved it literally minutes earlier. So anyway, it meant that I could not open the project. I couldn't open Final Cut, because the library is something that opens automatically to see your last project and everything that you were editing and all the raw files, all that kind of stuff. So I couldn't open Final Cut Pro. So I thought, right, well, what's my option here? So I looked into it, and I found out that you can launch Final Cut Pro by holding, I think it's Command and Alt or Option, and then you get a box that says delete preferences. So I did that, and then Final Cut Pro opened up. So I thought, great. And it had that, the little disc, the rainbow disc that keeps on going round and round and round and round. And I sat there for about 5 minutes, and then a warning came up on the screen saying, you have no memory left in your computer. So I thought, what's going on here? And the amount of memory that Final Cut Pro was now using was going up and up and up. And I think I've got 64 gigabytes worth of memory. And it was saying that it wanted to have about 600 gigabytes of memory, which is ridiculous because my Mac Studio is actually quite fast. It is quite an impressive piece of kit. So yeah, the fact that it was just having an absolute heart attack from, I don't know what it was doing. It was thinking something was going on that wasn't going on. So anyway, I thought, right, what are my only options? The only options are to download the latest operating system and download the latest Final Cut, because then if I get the latest version of it, of Final Cut Pro, it can't possibly be a future version that I've saved it with, even though it wasn't in the first place. So anyway, last night, oh God, this is going to take ages to explain. Anyway, I'll try and keep it short. Last night, I thought, right, I know what happens when you update. Everything goes wrong. I'm just going to skip this advert. So yeah, everything goes wrong when you update any operating system. So what I'm going to do is make a backup of my system. So I have a backup disk that I then told it to do. I think it's Time Machine on a Mac. So I set that doing it, and it was going through for probably about a couple of hours. Got stuck at 75%. And then wasn't doing it anymore, and then said, you've run out of space on your disk, even though it's supposed to delete older versions and replace that with the newer versions, but it wasn't doing that. So anyway, I thought, oh, absolute nightmare. So I then started deleting stuff on that disk in order to make space for it, and I made another maybe 20 or 30 gigabytes. I thought, well, surely that'll be enough, because it got to 75%, so it was almost there. So I did it again. Guess what? It got stuck again, failed. And we're talking about 4:30 yesterday morning until around 6:30 I was trying to do this. So anyway, then I got another hard drive, and I thought, right, I'm just going to put that in, and it says if you want to do Time Machine on this hard drive, you have to delete everything off it because it has to be now set up as a Time Machine drive. So I thought, fine, I'll copy, which took half an hour, I'll copy everything off the drive, put it on the Mac so that at least the disk is free, the external hard drive, and then I just set that going, and then I went to bed because I thought, well, it's 6:30, 7 in the morning, and yeah, that was then doing fine. So start up my computer today, and basically from this afternoon until now I've been trying to get everything working, because everything now doesn't work, and it didn't work. And this is why it's a miracle that you can see me and hear me, because first of all, the software that I use, when I started it up earlier this afternoon, I thought, oh, it is starting up, it's fine, it's going to work for tonight's live stream, that's great. And then I went into trying to figure out everything else that's going wrong. So about an hour ago, started up the software and, turned the camera on, and guess what? I was getting a frame rate of about 15 frames per second, which basically looks like this when you wave. Like that. So I thought, oh, this is great, because this is the software that I use to record my analysis videos. So that's going to look really cool when I'm doing that. So this is, and I don't know why this has happened, but I thought, well, I'm going to start a Zoom call with nobody and a Google Meets call. First of all, I did the Zoom call, and as soon as the call started, instantly it went to being smooth. Something just happened on the screen when I clicked. Oh, it's an unbelievable amount of gremlins tonight. But anyway, so yes, I did a Zoom call, and it almost reset the camera in the software that I'm using, which is totally irrelevant. So then it was at least smooth, as I believe it is now. And I think it's actually smoother now than it ever was, which is crazy. So it means that I have to start a phone call, a pretend phone call with somebody, to get the frame rate to now be sorted. And it's not an issue with the software. Well, it is an issue with the software, because I tried to change it to 60 frames per second, but that had no difference. It was still kind of really jumpy. Anyway, the only problem with the Zoom thing is that it changed the lighting, so it's really contrasty. So it's like the blacks are really black and the whites were really white. So I then closed down the software again. I then started a call in Google Meets, and the same thing happened. In the software, it suddenly became smooth again. And this time it was without having this really bad contrast look. So that's what I've done. Before I started the live stream, I started a Google Meets call with nobody in order to get this video going smoothly. The other thing that's happening is that the sound, this might sound fine, but when I was trying to figure out, because of the FilJam that we're going to be having at the end of the live stream, if we do hit the target of 605 or 605, then I thought, well, I've got to at least try to get that working. But yeah, I couldn't get it working without some kind of clipping sound going on. And I don't know where that clipping sound's coming from, because it's not a volume issue. I've even turned everything down to 75% to make sure that I don't clip, that it's not too loud. But it's still got this sound on it. And I don't know whether it's an incompatibility thing with the UX2, it might be, or whether it's the loopback software, which, by the way, I had to download an update for that. So yeah, all of these things. Oh, the other thing with this, and I don't know what this is called. It's called like sequoia or sequoia or sequoia. I don't know what this is called, but it's like SEQUIEOU. It's really weird. It's a word that I've never seen before, but it must be something, or it must be like an animal or something to do with nature. That's sometimes what the Macs call themselves. But anyway, the one before was Sonoma, I think, something like that. But anyway, yeah, the latest operating system, a new function that they have put into it, which is absolutely unbelievable and stupid and really annoying, is when you click on the desktop, it gets rid of all of your windows to show you the picture in the background. So imagine now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Normally I have 9 windows going to keep everything organised. If I accidentally click on any space between these 9 windows, they're all going to disappear. Who has ever wanted that as a function? Saying, I just want to now look at the picture in the background. No, I've never wanted to do that. It's in the background because it is the background. It's not the foreground, so why are you bringing it in front of everything? So yeah, and I'm making sure that I'm not clicking anywhere on the screen that isn't on one of the windows, because I will lose all of the windows and yeah, I'll lose everything. So yeah, this is the other thing. Oh, another thing that they do is when you're using a camera, as I am now, they show you another feed of it at the top right with a picture of a camera, which is great, but it takes extra processing power. So it means that you're now having 2 feeds of the camera on your screen rather than the software just having to render 1. It's now rendering 2 because the Mac says, "Oh, you're using the camera." I know I'm using the camera because I'm using it. So why are you showing me another screen of me using the camera? So yeah, what an absolute nightmare. So yeah, this has been since 4:30 yesterday morning, trying to get it all organised, and I really don't know what I'm going to... Oh, the other thing is all of the songs for tonight's live stream that was on the live stream are on a hard drive, and that hard drive was failing, or at least it wasn't being read. So since I've updated to this new fantastic, AI helping thing, operating system, since updating, everything is now going wrong. So it's always the same thing. Anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do because I can roll everything back. But if I roll everything back, I've got the same Final Cut Pro issue of never being able to edit any videos. So you think, well, I can record the videos, but then how am I going to edit them together? Because I can't open the library unless I start... How can I start a new one? Because the old one is now for today's version of Final Cut Pro, which is Final Cut Pro 11. So that is now the library. So it now opens fine, but everything else doesn't work. So now if I get everything else working, then Final Cut Pro is not going to work because the library is going to say, "Oh, you've used a future version, so we can't open it." So yeah, I do not know what I'm going to do, but at least there's live streams working. It's a bit of a pain for my channel and my videos in the future because it's like one thing will work, and then the software that I use to record videos won't work, or I can record my videos and I can't edit them. So yeah, this is going to be, I don't know, I'll keep you guys in the loop over on Patreon as to how it's going and whether I can iron out the problems that are going on. But I'll probably email I think the guy from Mimo Live, which is the software that I use. I think he's seen my channel and knows that I use it, and has said in the past if I need any help with anything, to let him know personally, and I can just let him know that since the update and using the most up-to-date version, which should work, the frame rate is absolutely diabolical, and you have to go to a Google Meets call or a Zoom call to get the software to work. So yeah. The other annoying thing is I don't know what's wrong with... I know that the sound is working, but it might be... If it's a UX2 problem, it's going to absolutely do my head in, because that's something that in the last update I spent about 2 or 3 days trying to get the UX2 working. It is working now, but I just got this really nasty clipping sound earlier when I was just trying to kind of watch YouTube or have a video on there. So that won't be very good for the analysis videos either. So anyway, there we have it. Let me get up on screen, and there are probably more gremlins that I haven't spoken about, but those are the main ones. So anyway, you guys don't have to donate, as you all know if you've been watching the channel for any length of time. Just watching is great. I know that there are some people that can't resist donating, so I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But like I said, just watching is great. Maybe introduce yourself into the live chat room, and yeah. That's how we all get to know each other on the live streams when they are indeed working. And by the way, if you could hit that thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated. Susie says, is that the Mac OS? Yes, it is. So the most up-to-date operating system for Mac. I think there's an even more modern version or recent version that's in its beta or beta. And if you want to, you can download that. But this is not that one. This is just the one that should be stable and should work. But yeah, I mean, the annoying thing is I don't really mind about... I mean, everything here is working, and maybe my Scarlett interface is working. The thing that is going to annoy me, I know in the future, is the routing of the audio. Because before... it is quite complicated, and I use loopback audio, which means that instead of having all of your wires all over the place in the room, you can literally do it all inside the computer. So you can have a picture of where all of your virtual wires are going. So you've got all the different wires from, Logic Pro 10, Final Cut Pro 11 as it is now, and, my Scarlett interface, the UX2. These have all got leads, virtual leads that are on a screen that are going into different inputs and outputs so that they all work together. And as soon as now updating, if that doesn't work, it's going to be an absolute nightmare for me to try and troubleshoot to find, well, what is causing this not to work. So yeah, it's going to be something that might take me a very long time, but this sometimes happens. You can have a long time without gremlins, but it's just updating. It's always updating that wrecks everything. So I've never updated an operating system without it wrecking something. I mean, like wrecking it to the point of you now can't function. You have to stop as a creator or musician or anything. Even on Logic Pro 10, importing an audio file as an MP3. I don't know whether they've solved that now with this operating system, but you then can't bounce the track as an MP3 because it has this really nasty sound, and it just won't do it. It will not mix down effectively what you've recorded. You have to import a WAV file, and that's the only kind of files that would work. And I'll have to check it, but it has been a problem for years. And then dragging audio files, it doesn't show you why you drag it. It keeps it where it was, so you're dragging it, and then when you let go, it then appears. But when you're trying to do very definitive edits, then yeah, that's a nightmare as well. So all of these things that that go wrong and make the program now more difficult to use. Whereas, go back. I'd like to go back 8 years, something like that, where everything worked fine. It's just gone downhill, and every update just makes everything less reliable and more rubbish. So anyway, there we have it. Right, I can see that there have been donations in the Super Chat window, so thank you guys for those. And the first one, Paul's donated $2. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is 439,000 subscribers. Awesome. Spike the likes. Rock. So thank you for that. And I did try and change this, so we will see if this works. Is that working? I think I can see it on the screen, but sometimes I can hear people cheering. Yeah, I've got no sound, so okay, I just turned it up to try and check. So yeah, thank you guys for subscribing. It is very much appreciated. And yeah, in order to get notified for all of the videos, you will have to hit that notification bell if you aren't subscribed, because then you'll get notified for all of the videos and the live streams. So yeah, tonight's live stream is going to be a bit dodgy because I can't hear anything. So when there's a video playing of like the cover video, it looks like Broken Wings is in the lead at the moment. But when we play that cover video, I'm not going to be able to hear it. So I'm going to have to look at the image to try and figure out when it finishes before I then come in at the end of the YouTube video from the video on YouTube. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. So anyway, thank you for that, Paul. Orlando's donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Orlando. The message is, catch up crew for me. Have fun and spike the likes, with lots of thumbs up. So thank you for that. And Pamela's donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Pamela. And it's a person, saying knockout. I think KO. That says, it's not a person, it's a hippo doing an uppercut by the look of it. So thank you for that, Pamela. And TMWayX has donated €2. So thank you for that. And the message is, why don't you play a Spandau Ballet cover song or song cover? Because I haven't got one. So the cover videos that I did, which were, I don't know, about 30, 35, something like that. They were all requested over on Patreon, and we're talking about years ago now, where I did one video a month. So yeah, I had a little bit more time there to put into the, stuff, but especially cover videos. I would just do one a month and obviously build the song from scratch. And I was teaching guitar back then as well, so I did it in and around my teaching. So yeah, people requested songs, and Spandau Ballet was never requested. So that's why I don't have any cover videos of said band. So thank you for that, TMWayX. Right, now I am going to jump over to the PayPal window because I can see these. Wanda has donated £16. So thank you for that. And that is a straight up donation. And Tracy's donated £20 as well. Thank you for that, Tracy. And the message is, I wish I could send you £1,000 for that jam. Holy Harrison Batman. That was incredible. The Beatles and Clapton would give you a standing ovation. As a lifetime Beatles freak, I thank you with all my heart. You rock so hard, Phil. Love you, Tracy. So thank you for that, Tracy, for the kind words. And yeah, that was the last FilJam. And a little bit of inside information about that FilJam. Typically, I mean, on a song, or on a backing track that obviously I know the song. On that particular FilJam, the sound that I had was absolutely atrocious. So, yeah, the levels, and this was obviously before I updated everything, so it still should have been working fine, but sometimes the backing track comes out a lot louder, and then my guitar's more difficult to hear. But on that particular FilJam, it sounded like my tone was clean. Tone and clean turned into clone there. But anyway, so my tone sounded clean, which I knew it couldn't be clean because I know it's just the same tone that I use for the other FilJams. So it was really weird because when it sounds clean, of course, the sustain dies straight away. But then I watched it back, and across the internet in the live stream, it just sounded like it normally does. So I don't have an explanation for that, why it sounded clean, here, but then through the computer, it sounded like the normal guitar tone that I use. So yeah, so it was a bit off-putting, and I had my phone on the desk, and I kept hitting my phone with the headstock, which meant that it kept I think the guitar is going to move down, but then it hits something, so it kind of potentially moves your fingers off the strings. So absolute nightmare with the last FilJam. But yeah, hopefully, thank you for the kind words, Tracy, because hopefully I got away with it, with all of that other stuff kicking off. But yeah, it's always the way that when there's a song that you do know, that's when you're going to get, I suppose probably that's a good one to have it with, because at least you know that it's just going to be the same backing, and didn't have any key changes or anything like that. But anyway, thank you for that, Tracy. And Oh, this is another thing. Dropbox. Yeah, I use Dropbox for my files and everything. And of course, updating it means that Dropbox doesn't work anymore. You have to basically update everything, and then it's just, yeah, probably 50-50 if it's actually going to work. So anyway, back to the reason that I said that is because Dropbox in PayPal, that's another monthly thing, and I just had to go past that email, just reminded me. So anyway, we have another donation from Pyros, Pyroz. So thank you for that. And it's a donation of £15, and this is a straight up donation. So thank you for that. Sylvia has donated £10. Thank you for that, Sylvia. And that is a straight up donation as well. And I'm just trying to make through. Okay, so Nicole has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Nicole. It seems like I'm getting lots of messages. It's got to be something to do with updating the system, or like installing the newer version of something. It says, oh, thanks for installing this. You know, or just letting me know that I've installed it and there's been another login and all that kind of stuff. Getting through all these emails, but thank you for this, Nicole, a donation of £10. And the message is, hello, Phil, alone on Saturday night, no problem. This is Fab, Phil of Pegasus. There's a great place on the internet. Congrats and big kiss, Phil. So thank you for that. And Connie has donated £20 as well. Thank you for that, Connie. And the message is, hi, Phil. In Friday's video, you made an excellent plea for the acceptance of the natural human voice in music. I especially loved what you said about coaching. Peace, love, and rock. Connie. So thank you for that, Connie. Yeah, that was just one of those discussion videos more than anything, but it's just something that I'm noticing over the course of, especially the last few months. The way that everything has to be perfect and that there can't be any wrong notes. Even now, talking about going on tour and potentially playing in different countries and having record-breaking tours, you can't hit a wrong note. Oh, we're not going to have a troll corner tonight. Just reminded me of something. But somebody said underneath, I think, my final video that I did on a particular artist, very well known, touring the world, and for a record amount of gross earnings and profit and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, this person said, I've watched the artist a lot, and I've been to a lot of her shows, and I've never heard the auto-tune do what you're showing in your video. So I think you've manipulated it and you've changed the audio. And I mean, I replied to that person saying that, I did say it would be stupid of me to make a video claiming one thing and creating the audio myself. So when people go to cross-reference the performances with the links that I give them, they'll say, oh, hang on, this is different audio. And I did say that it would be libel, and the video would be taken down instantly because it would be made up and I'd be saying something that is totally untrue. So, yeah, this person genuinely thought that I would be that stupid to manipulate and come up with my own audio and then do a 50-minute video on me pretending that this is what's happening. It is actually what's happening. A spoiler alert. Yeah, everything that I point out in my videos is entirely true. Oh, and by the way, Etienne from a Jazz Concept, he's got a channel and he's released his video on the whole Taylor Swift thing as well, and pointing out things about the vocal lines on screen and just backing up what I'm saying, coming to the same conclusion. And people that know what they're talking about, they know that what I'm presenting is fact, is objective, and it is proof when you get vocal lines going over other vocal lines. People who are in the industry, who are music technicians, but also musicians and producers, they know what I'm pointing out is stating facts. And this is what's interesting as well, when somebody says, oh, I've never heard that before, so I think you've made it up. I think, obviously they don't know that professionals watch my channel. So it would be even more stupid for me to try and make something up, because then a producer would say, well, no, that isn't the audio from the show, because, you know, you've given us the links to look at the actual YouTube videos ourselves, and we can hear it's not the same audio. So, yeah, but I guess some people, I know it's very difficult for people to accept something that is difficult for them to take on board when they do idolize somebody and think that they can't do any wrong. And yeah, it's often just a defensive mechanism that is very difficult to overcome, and some people never overcome it. They will just say that, oh, it must be a lie, I'm not listening, and kind of put their fingers in their ears. So yeah, but there's nothing really that can be done about that, unfortunately. It doesn't make the objective fact any less of an objective fact. Anyway, thank you for that, Connie. So yeah, talking about using auto-tune live and even, you know, on YouTube with different videos, and I know that I'm going to be covering this soon on the channel with bands and channels that people have asked me to take a look at that are live, and they actually have live in the name of the YouTube channel, and it's not one of those ones that we had recently where it turns out it was owned by Sony, that First Take channel. So of course Sony are not going to put their artist on that when their artists are messing it up and are singing out of key and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I showed on that it was Avril Lavigne that, you know, was heavily kind of pitch corrected, borderline auto-tuned to make sure that she didn't miss the note because it was owned by Sony. But other channels that are not affiliated with record labels and even have live in the title and are seen as doing live performances, I'm going to be jumping into that just to point out exactly what's going on as well. But again, it all speaks to the same thing, that you're not allowed to miss a note now, where people and channels like this that are totally outside of the music industry, not owned by major labels, are now pitch correcting and auto-tuning their live performances. So live performances. And for me, using auto-tune live, that is editing your voice. That's the whole reason that it's being used, because the voice that was initially created won't be close enough to the notes, or that's what they deem, it won't be close enough. So you get a computer processor that changes it. It's edited. So yeah, this is it, that people will not release a video. Either they post-edit it with pitch correction or they use auto-tune live, as in this particular artist's case with their world tour, because you're not allowed to miss notes or, you know, heaven forbid, have any expression in your voice. So yeah, it is a sorry state of affairs at the moment. So thank you, Debbie, as well, who's donated £10. And Debbie says, hi, Phil, congrats on 439,000 subscribers. I'm on catch-up crew tonight, but just couldn't resist sending a donation. Have a great live stream. You're the best. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And Tammy has donated £10. Thank you for that, Tammy. The message is, hi, Phil. Congratulations on hitting 439,000 subscribers. What are your hopes for the future of singing in light of the widespread use of pitch correction? Keep on rocking. So thank you for that, Tammy. And I mean, my hope is that, like I said in last night's video, I hope that there is some kind of movement away from it by singers who want to be unique and want to stand out. And that's the only way that we're ever going to find the next generation's great voices. And I'd say it's really difficult because I'd say the mainstream pop artists at the moment, I mean, they're all pitch corrected as standard. I'd say that probably one of the last voices to make it out of the gate before they were closed, and everything is now a closed shop and you've got to pitch correct, you've got to auto-tune, all that kind of stuff. The last person that made it out, I think, was Adele. That her vocal was unique and it did have expression because she wasn't being pitch corrected, and she became a huge star because of how her voice connected to people. So she was the one that got out. But then when you think about other kind of great singers like her over the last, 5 or 10 years, I don't know, it's really difficult because, I mean, I can hear pitch correction. So it means that whenever I hear it, I can't listen to that voice because it's a computer processor that I'm listening to. So yeah, it's very difficult. Hopefully there will be a breakaway, like I said, to getting back to having a natural voice. And yeah, it's something that I'm very much kind of working on a side project in order for either, you know, artists to make that decision themselves of what they want to do, or to just have something that is letting people know and letting fans know exactly what is going on with what they're listening to. And it gives the artists the option then to either be an artist that is, you know, seen as a natural vocalist, and they have something that shows that that is the case, or, you know, if they are using pitch correction or auto-tune, that's still absolutely fine. It's just that they won't kind of meet the criteria to be in a particular, you know, bracket of artist. So anyway, yeah, we will see. But I think probably, I mean, the longer this goes on, you know, obviously the closer we are and I am to launching my side project, so everyone will know what it's about. And hopefully, I don't know, if we spread the word around, we might be able to have an option in the industry rather than people just not knowing what's going on, because that is what's happening at the moment, especially with people asking me to check out kind of independent channels that are doing cover songs that say they're fully live and they don't know if it is live. And yeah, I can point out that, well, the next kind of video or two will probably point out exactly what is going on, but people really don't know what they're listening to, and that's the problem. So thank you, Sue, for this £20 donation as well. I think I might have skipped over one there. Vera donated £7.56, which came in before, and Vera said, "Hi Phil, I am once again curious. I have been watching guitarists quite a bit lately. I have noticed that guitarists, including you, have a tendency to use facial expressions while playing. Are the facial expressions an emotional reaction or something else to do with playing the guitar? Congratulations on 439,000 subscribers. Love you, Vera Lynn." So thank you for that, Vera. And yeah, when you're playing the guitar, I think controlling your facial expressions, you're not really thinking about that. It's exactly the same as singing. So when you're seeing somebody sing, and generally when you are singing through the guitar, or, you know, you are playing, either you're going to be concentrating quite a lot, and generally when people are playing quickly, I think you tend to see less facial expressions because they're kind of concentrating on what they're doing. But yeah, it varies from one guitarist to the next. But anyway, yeah, facial expressions is exactly the same as when you're singing. So when you look at a great singer, they're never really singing with no expression in their face. So yeah, that's what I think it is, just a similar kind of thing, you know. And it can be like, you know, especially Gary Moore used to do this, where he'd hit a bend and you could see in his face that it's almost like he is singing that note, that he is kind of belting it out at the top end of his chest voice, you know, pulling a face as if he is doing that while he's playing the guitar, but while he's not singing. So it's that kind of thing, exactly the same. So anyway, thank you for that, Vera. And Sue has donated £20 as well. Thank you for that, Sue. And the message is, "Hi Phil, a little donation for Gremlin Repellent. Hope it helps, Sue." So thank you for that, Sue, and we will see. I think, yeah, tomorrow's going to be interesting, and then Monday, my admin day, I know already, is going to be a Gremlin day, to see if I can find a way to get both things working, the editing and the recording, and live streaming, all that kind of stuff. So thank you, Dawn, for this £6 and 5p donation, and it is a straight up donation, so thank you for that. Oh, by the way, if you can hit that thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated, because we need 15 more people to have what's going to be a car crash of a FilJam, because the sound is going to be all over the place, but we will see what happens. So yeah, 14 more people required. Yeah, thank you for that, Dawn. And Angela has donated £15 and 12p, so thank you for that, Angela. The message is, "I know you don't drink, but after tonight, please have a drink on me," with a smiley face. So thank you for that. And yeah, I don't generally go to drinking. It's just, I just kind of deal with it. Yeah, it's something that you think, well, you can't really help it. You've just got to find a solution to it. And the only thing to do is to find a solution, because you're just wasting time otherwise. But yeah, it's been, I think when you do everything yourself, you go through all of this, that any technical problem that you might have, normally, the sound guy, the technician, the cameraman, the editor, the sound guy, all of these different jobs that people have. When you do it all yourself, the technical advisor, what is it, like the technical help, phoning up somebody to say what's gone wrong. All of these different jobs that a company has, or even a record label has, and media correspondent, and what is it, like manager, booking dates for interviews, all that kind of stuff. All of these different jobs, when you do it all yourself, anything that goes wrong, you have to try and figure it out. And it doesn't matter what the problem is. And in this case, it is going to be sound problems. It's going to be video problems. It's going to be frame rate. It's going to be pixel ratios. It's going to be editing. It's going to be loop back and routing audio. All these different things. So when a lot of things go wrong, you've got to put on a lot of different hats to try and figure out exactly what's going on. So that's why it takes such a long time. Normally you have a team of people that just sort it all out for you. But no such luck in this case. But anyway, thank you for that, Angela. And Melissa has donated £100. Thank you for that, Melissa. Very kind donation. And that is a straight up donation as well. So no message with that. And Karen has donated £5.96. Thank you for that, Karen. And the message is, hi Phil. I'm sorry that you're having computer issues. I'm sending you virtual wrestlers to slam those gremlins. I know you used to like WWE wrestling. Just for fun, which wrestlers would you pick to slam the gremlins? I pick Bret Hitman Hart and Davey Boy Smith, aka the British Bulldog. Your pick, please. Thanks for all you do. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that. And when I was watching wrestling, it was back in the day when it was WWF, World Wrestling Foundation. Oh, that's reminded me as well. In Etienne's video that he made on the Taylor Swift shows and comparing audio and showing that what I did in my video is repeatable and it is the same audio file, he compared the shows to WWF or WWE wrestling. In that, when you buy a ticket for wrestling, everybody knows it's not real. It's an entertainment thing. So everybody knows that. It is clear. And they don't try and hide the fact that, you can see that... Actually, you can see that they're not really hitting each other. Nowadays, they are properly hitting each other, but it is still scripted. Obviously it's all pre-planned and everything, but that doesn't take away the danger side of it. But anyway, when people are buying wrestling tickets, for example, they know what it is. They know that it's almost like a soap opera and they're supporting their favourite characters, all that kind of stuff. So he compared the tour that I was talking about to wrestling, that people are going along to see something that has it's already been worked out and it's already been recorded as it has, all the backing tracks. So people that are going there to see something live, thinking it's real and it is a real musical performance, again, that's now false advertising because it's not. It is like turning up to a boxing match, for example, for the heavyweight title of the world, and it's already been predetermined, and they've got this, they've written out the script and say, okay, right, round 3, I'm gonna hit, and you can see that they're not hitting each other. It's like Rocky, and people have paid to go and watch that, thinking it is the genuine thing, the genuine article. It is going to be a real fight. It is a genuine live event that you're watching. So that's something that he used that. I thought it was an interesting analogy to compare that, because certainly the emails that I've got are along those lines, that people didn't realise that it's all a pre-recorded show with backing tracks, and even when she's playing the acoustic guitar, there's that perfect synchronization, as you'll see in my video, but with auto-tune on her voice. I haven't seen any performance that doesn't have auto-tune, and I've seen so many songs from the show. So again, I know it's a difficult thing for fans to come to terms with, but there you go. There's an analogy that Etienne came up with on his channel that I thought was quite interesting. So anyway, picking 2 wrestlers. So I'm going to go with the Ultimate Warrior, of course, and the Undertaker. The Undertaker, I think his career went on for absolutely years. But yeah, he was there back in the day when I was watching it. So there are my two. I had the little figures of Jake the Snake Roberts as well. He was a lesser known wrestler, but I had the action figure of him. So that's why I remember him. And I had... Oh, who else did I have? I didn't have the Ultimate Warrior until a little bit later because I swapped him with another wrestler that I had. And it was like one of my friends at school. We did a swap. So he gave me that because, Ultimate Warrior was my favourite wrestler back in the day. But I think I did get the Undertaker. I didn't have him straight away. But I didn't have that many figures. Hulk Hogan, I might have had Hulk Hogan as well. But anyway, moving on. I remember more about my Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles as it was here in the UK, more than the wrestling ones. But I had the little ring as well, the WWF ring. So yeah, that's quite cool. Anyway, thank you for that, Karen. But it wasn't to scale. So when they were in the ring, the figures were too big for it. That was my only complaint. But still, it was quite fun to play. I don't know how old I was back then. I was going to say, I don't know how old I was back then. Maybe 14? But no. Probably 6 or 7? I don't know. I have to check when, that was all kicking off. WWF. Anyway, thank you for that, Karen. Right, moving on. We had another donation, and it's Christiana who says buy a coffee and has donated £1.27. So thank you for that. Now, we've had another donation. This is TMWayX who's donated €2 and says, what's your opinion of level 42? So, I've done a video on level 42 somewhere. That might have actually, I don't know whether it got blocked on copyrights, but it might have been, which would be a shame. But Mark King on bass, his voice and the level 42 sound, that's just part of my childhood. So certainly all that kind of stuff. You know, I regularly listen to level 42 on my playlist, which actually I've got Amazon Music, and I think it's like $9.99 a month, something like that, where, I mean, it's ridiculous because, you know, you can basically, and I do pay for it, but I know that you can do a free trial and all that kind of stuff and basically get people's music for free. But I don't do that. So I do pay for it. But I mean, you can get everything on there. So I've got a playlist of basically all of the bands I can remember. Of course, level 42 was one of those. But so it means that randomly, like Running in the Family or Lessons in Love, will just come on the playlist, and it's like, and it kind of takes you back to your childhood. So it's really cool. And I've got Phil Collins on there, Elton John, George Michael, Winger, Guns N' Roses. Such a random mix of songs, but that's what I like. Is that every now and again you might get a Winger tune followed by level 42. So there you go. But anyway, so I am a fan of level 42. Thank you for that, TMWayX. Diamond Girl has donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, what do you think is driving this comprehensive need for perfection? I mean, this could be a very almost at midnight, so I'm going to have to move on with tonight's live stream after I've answered this very quickly. So I think Liz says WWF was around 85, 87-ish. So I don't know, I think I must have been a bit older than that, because that would have been 5, 6, 4 or 5. No, it was after that. It must be, I'd say, 1990. So maybe it was around that time. So that means I would have been 7. So 1990 is when I think was probably a WWF. Anyway, I got sidetracked. So this comprehensive need for perfection, I think it all started with filters on Instagram and just taking pictures in general. Like, that's something that I've never done, is apply a filter to myself, because it might be the same as hearing pitch correction, because I can see it straight away. As soon as, no matter how subtle the filter is supposed to be, you can just tell, or I can just tell when somebody's using a filter. So I think, just the whole search for perfection and people just not wanting to look how they look. And obviously everyone wants to be, I guess everyone wants to look young for ages. So that's why they do that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like, well, if you just keep yourself relatively in shape, relatively healthy, drink water. I don't drink alcohol or smoke, so that probably helps with, keeping, I don't know, keeping your body in check or not aging quicker than you should do or anything like that. I know that smoking certainly can have that effect. So yeah, I think just staying healthy is probably better than the problem is if you do use filters and then you meet that person in real life, then they're going to feel embarrassed because they know that they don't look like how they look on the internet. So yeah, I don't know. It's I think just as with everything, honesty is the best policy. So however you look is how you look, and if people don't like it, it's not your problem. So yeah, I don't know, but so thank you for that. So I think that's what started it. But then this need for vocal perfection again is that, I don't know, that self-consciousness, that fear of failure, that thing that everybody's got, that vulnerability that people have, that they don't want to be seen as being any worse than anybody else. So they all jump on this bandwagon of all doing the same thing to try and appear exactly the same as everyone else. But as you could tell, it just reminded me of another troll corner very quickly. This person said, and it was a religious thing saying that, I should try to find God and all this kind of stuff because all I'm doing is, all I have is jealousy for other singers and artists, and all I'm doing is, tearing them down. And I should, and they said, what gives me the right to get on my high horse and criticize and judge other people? And then literally in the next sentence, they said, I've listened to your music and it sounds like some 80s cover band. It's generic. It's been done before. And, you're not a very good singer and all this kind of stuff. So they've gone from one sentence saying, what gives you the right to criticize people? And by the way, I've seen your music and now I'm going to criticize you. So this is it. And some people do. I don't know why, but some people do take this religious angle and they contradict themselves. And they say, you need to, get into this religion or whatever because you're either evil or you should be ashamed or you're jealous and all these kinds of things. You need to find the light because, you're on the wrong path. And by the way, I think you're, and then they'll go off on one, sometimes swearing, calling me what I am or what they think I am. And you think, well, hang on. This person is someone who's supposed to have seen the light because they can obviously leave everything behind and it doesn't matter to them. But then they go off on one of actually, if that's what they're suggesting I need to do results in, I'll do without that. Thank you. I'll just keep on, being honest, saying, calling a spade. And as long as I'm honest, I don't have a problem with that. I don't need to, talk about religion or anything. I'm happy with knowing myself that I'm being truthful. So yeah, that's the line and that's the bar that I set for myself. It doesn't rely on any beliefs or anything. I think that if you have that as a human, then that's what everybody should be doing and saying, and just being honest and telling everything, what it is, or telling people what it is. If you start to try to sugarcoat things or dodge particular questions or issues, it's always going to come back, and you'll be quoted as saying something that further down the line is now proven as being a lie. So it's just better to be honest up front. So anyway, it stops a lot of problems. As Judge Judy says, if you tell the truth, you don't need to have a good memory. So anyway, thank you for that, Christiana. And I know that I'm kind of jumping between the two, but thank you, Diamond Gold. Tony's donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, those of us with no musical ear don't care about the lines. We like what we like. My girl is Tiffany, and I don't whether she hits the sacred lines. And that's Tony's third super chat donation, so thank you for that. And yeah, this is the stupid thing that all of the music before pitch correction, this is what doesn't make any sense. Who is listening? Like all of the songs and artists that I have on my playlist, who's listening to those songs and thinking, oh wow, I can't listen to these hits anymore because they're not on the lines. They're not pitch corrected. So all of the music pre 2010 or 2005, technically Melodyne came in 2001. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, all the music pre 2001 is unlistenable anymore. All of those huge hits have to be deleted because they didn't use pitch correction. So this is it. I mean, it's stupid because it's totally the opposite. That you think all of those huge hits that have had, millions and millions and millions of sales, that's what you want to try and copy. Don't make your own new thing called pitch correction. You want to try and have a hit that was as big as those, 30, 40, 50 years ago. So it doesn't make any sense. It is counterintuitive what they're doing, thinking that by sticking it on lines, it's going to make the songs more successful. You're breaking the formula by doing that. But I guess the formula had great singers, and that's the problem, that you need a great singer. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you for that, Tony. Giraffes Incorporated has donated $20. Thank you for that. And that's their first super chat donation. And it's, I think, a cat holding a cup. So thank you for that. And, TMWay X has donated €2. Thank you for that. And says, and the Style Council, underappreciated band. So, they're one that aren't in my playlist. I wasn't exposed to the Style Council, unfortunately. So, yeah, pretty much the bands that I got into or listened to when I was younger, it's just my parents, listening to lots of different bands. And the Style Council wasn't one of those that my mum or dad had a copy of. So, maybe one for me to check out and potentially add to my playlist. So, anyway, yes, thank you, Lucy, for this £10 donation. The message is, have you ever heard of Puddle's Pity Party? He doesn't use auto-tune or pitch correction. Seen him live and his voice is incredible. If you haven't, please do an analysis of his War Pigs cover. Thank you. So thank you for that. And I haven't heard of Puddle's Pity Party, so I'll have to check it out. But let me jump into tonight's cover video. Hopefully this will work. And we are going to be having a FilJam with the sound. I don't know what it's going to sound like. It's going to be a nightmare, but we'll try it anyway. So this is my version of Broken Wings. That is the winner for tonight. Let me bring that to a close. And we're going to have to be really quick here because it's already 6 minutes past midnight. But I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you after. Rock!
Don't understand why we can't just hold on to each other's hands. This time may be the last, I fear, unless I make it all too clear. I need you so.
And there we have it. That was my version of Broken Wings by Mr. Mister. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I was just trying to get my guitar out for the FilJam, and of course the chair was on the lead, so I just had to try and I was racing before the end of that video to try to organise the lead so that I wasn't on top of it. So I just about managed to do it. Now the sound with this is going to be a bit rubbish, I think, because as I said, playing from Google, hang on, not Google. Oh yeah, it is Google Chrome. There's this weird kind of clippy sound, but I don't know what. I think going through this Scarlett interface is fine. But it was just, playing something through Google Chrome. Anyway, we'll just have to deal with it. So, first of all, we had another donation from Elaine, and that's her 20th donation, so thank you for that. And it was for $2, and the message is, cover video time. So, that's probably telling me to get on with it, because, let me zoom out, because we're running out of time. And I think... it's 6 minutes and 7 seconds. Right, I'm going to turn that on. And yeah, I don't know whether this is going to sound... It might actually sound better to me than it does to you. Let's click on this, see what happens. All right, yeah, well, I can hear it. It's okay. So let's see what happens. Oh, by the way, this is Power Funk 2 jam track in A minor. Get down, in inverted commas, BJT hashtag 49 or number 49. And this is Ben's Jam Tracks on YouTube. So I'm getting a weird echo now that this has started up. So yeah, playing with echo, without echo. Let's just try and we'll deal with it. Let me know what the levels are like, even though it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. Oh, advert. Hang on. Skip. Oh. Now, can you hear this? I say, oh, I don't know what it sounded like to you guys, but that was it sounded like it was going to end, and I took a gamble that it was going to end. So I did a little rundown, and it did end. But yeah, I don't know what it sounded like. But anyway, that was the FilJam for tonight. Obviously, like I said before, yeah, there's and I think maybe somebody said there's static or something, but that's what I was hearing earlier. Yeah, when I was playing back anything through Google Chrome. And it might just be, the UX2 that's a little bit, unfortunately, the drivers, all that kind of stuff with the update. So I don't think the UX2 is supported anymore, which is a bit of a pain. So if that is the problem, I'm going to have to try and figure out a way around it. Anyway, that was the FilJam for tonight. Whatever it sounded like is what it sounded like. So, unfortunately, if it wasn't that good, then there you go. But anyway, thank you for that, Joe, for sending that my way. That was Power Funk 2 jam track in A minor, Get Down, inverted commas, BJT number 49, and that's like hashtag 49 is written, and it's Ben's Jam Tracks. If you guys want to check that out yourselves, that was a groovy backing track. So it's a bit of a shame that it had a groovy backing track and lots of kind of audio problems going on. But anyway, that is it for tonight, and I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, so look out for that one. 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time is when I release the video. That's where I'm going to be aiming to release the video, if I can get everything working, and hopefully it should be all right. And then I'll be live streaming on Tuesday night as well. Again, if I can get things working, and that's 11 PM Greenwich Mean Time. So it will be good to see you then. As always, have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and thank you guys for tuning in to the live stream and interacting with me in a live setting. It certainly is great to interact with you guys outside of the comment section and emails and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live, and I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!